Good evening, April-born spirits, and welcome to your Karmic Day reading. In this one, we're focusing on what does your birth month have to say about the karma that you carry. What does it mean for you that you chose to reincarnate in the fourth month of the year? To find out your karma, there are multiple fields of interest you can go to. Either it's numerology, as I did for this introduction part, or astrology, or whatever you may prefer or like. But in order to get a complete view and a full understanding of your karmic program, I believe it is best to take all this into account. For this readings, I've divided the 12 months into 4 groups. December to January, we have the youngest to the oldest spirits reincarnating. You belong, and actually, you are the last members of the third group, the group of adults, and you are the mature adults. Coming close to January, so the more we advance towards January, the heavier the karma. You, as April born, you already bring a lot of karma and quite a particular heavy one. And now let's start with your numerology report and let's see what the numbers have to say about your karma, April born spirits. You have a strong hold of karma upon your destiny. Being the mature adults karmic spirits that you are, you have gathered some karma throughout your past lives, and consequently, karma has a very powerful influence upon your destiny. You have a profound connection to your father, and you carry the responsibility of half of his karma. So you came here to fulfill or to pay half of your father's karmic debt. What you should do about it? Well, it is mandatory for you to have a very good relationship with your father, to do your best in this regard, no matter whom or how your father is. It is very common for the father of the April born spirit to be cold, to be absent, not very friendly or welcoming to the April born child, or even for him to also abandon the family. So a lot of April born spirits can even grow up in the total absence of a father. But even if he's there, he's not emotionally there. He's not available to you or for you. Okay. You shouldn't carry any hard feelings, if possible, towards your father. Even to try to understand the father, to look for him, to spend time with your father, to talk and engage with him as much as possible. The more the father makes mistakes, so the more mistakes your father makes, the heavier your karma gets, and the more you have to fix, to pay, and to learn, of course. It is recommended for you to have this strong bond, a close connection to your father, or at least to try not to judge him or to make him feel bad, but to be there for him and to help him recover and correct his mistakes. The more you manage to help your father evolve and improve, the more you benefit on a karmic level because of this splitted, divided karma between you and your father. If your father makes a promise, this is very important throughout his life, and doesn't keep his promise. Of course, you have to know or to find out. If you do not know directly from your father, you have to find out about this promise. But if he makes a promise and he doesn't keep his promise throughout his life, you, April born spirit, absolutely and totally need to fulfill your father's promise. So, again, if you find out, if he tells you about this promise, you definitely need to bring this promise to fruition. If you manage to stick to the recommendations of numerology, what do you get? First and foremost, the support of your father or of a father figure. You will have a male figure in your life that will feel like a father, like a real father for you. In the second place, you get a successful career or successful business affairs and opportunities. But the father, it's all about the world, the social world, the established world, the institutional world, about organizations. And so career, business, they are all ruled by the father principle. Especially for the ladies that are born in April, who don't have a good connection to the father, if married. Take a look at your husband and see the similarities between your father and your husband, and between the relationship you have with your father, respectively, with your husband. Because this is the divine way, and your unconscious choices, or doing, your unconscious is doing, to change what needs to be transformed, to fix what needs to be repaired. Work on the relationship you have with your father, and automatically the connection to your husband will improve. So this is just how energy works in this particular case. Because due to your karma, the other way around does not work. Meaning that improving the relationship you have with the husband will not fix the relationship you have with the father, will not ease your karmic responsibility, and won't fix your karma. So if you do not allow the energy to flow and you keep it hoarded and stuck in there, the energy will find another way and will come back in a different and more destructive way for you. So very, very important, April born spirits, to be mindful about the relationship and the connection you have with your father, because this will carry a heavy influence on your life, and you also are responsible for half of your father's karmic debt. And this was it for the numerology report. In the second part, we're going to have mostly oracle reading. With this archetypes deck, we're going to have 3 past lives, 3 previous lives, starting with the oldest, that still influence your present lifetime. Then with the Akashic Tarot, we're going to find out more details. We're going to expand upon these 3 past incarnations of yours. We're going to switch to the karma cards to get your major karmic task, to see exactly this necessity to have a good connection with the father. Where does it stand? Does it refer to a sign, a planet, or a house? With the dream weaver, we're going to see how can you achieve and complete this karmic task. And this is going to be the karmic part of the reading. And towards the end, we're going to focus on the dharma you acquire by completing your karmic program. The dharma is the sacred knowledge, the most important lesson you learn through fulfilling this karmic program. So it is exactly the essential thing that you are seeking for and looking for in this lifetime. And lastly, with the Sacred Blessings Oracle, we're going to find out which blessings, which essential and sacred blessings are guiding your path. And now, April, mature adults, let's see. I'm holding the deck upside down. Okay, let's turn it in the right position. Let's see what is it that you had as 3 past lives which still have something to say about your present incarnation. What are the 3 past lives that you did not fully complete the karmic program and still brought some karma with you? Okay, one last shuffle. April born spirits, and let's see. For you, what are 3 past lives influencing but also guiding, because you had Dharma. This one jumped in the air, the Don Juan. In the light, spotlights your positive seductive qualities, but in the shadow, you use your power of romantic attraction for private agendas. But we're not taking this one because it was not a jumper, and we like and prefer jumpers. So the first past life, the life of a saboteur Don Juan. In the light, highlights your fear of self-empowerment and the changes it would bring to your life. In the shadow, induces self-destructive behavior or the desire to undermine others. Okay? In the picture, it's one of those hot air balloons. Although the character in here, the lady character, she seems to have the appearance of an Afro-American lady. With this hot air balloon, I'm also going to Turkish roots, to Turkey, Cappadocia, and... Okay, so the first, maybe you had something in your first past life. So this is the oldest one. And maybe you have some connection either to Africa or Turkey. And something about going from maybe like even Egypt, Morocco, but Turkey up there and down here, like Northern Africa, nevertheless. Egypt, Morocco. Some connection, but the strongest one I feel this Turkish roots. Okay. Highlight your fear of self-empowerment. So this fear of self-empowerment may be the karmic connection to this life. Although it's in the light. Up to now, to form karma, I've taken the shadow attribute in here into account. But for you, this fear of self-empowerment, the desire in the shadow, the desire to undermine others. In his hand, well, the first thought I had is that he was holding a wand. But I think he just made a cut in that hot air balloon. So you sabotaged something, right? So this hot air balloon is gonna go in all directions now. Let's see what you got, because this is gonna be interesting. What you got? Where did your balloon fly? So the rebel Samaritan, it's in Romanian. I don't know how to say it but it's basically the same word. So you became a rebel Samaritan. Okay. Still a rebel. Because in this one, I feel the rebel vibe with this saboteur. Sabotaging this, I feel like you had to prove something to prove in this one. So maybe this was your karmic program, to prove something. But to prove something, you had to overcome your fear of self-empowerment and the changes it would bring to your life. Maybe you were not rebellious enough. Maybe the cut there was not deep enough. And now this rebel vibe. But not just any type of rebel. Because you were like the good kind, like the Robin Hood. You were like the Robin Hood rebel, stealing from the rich to give to the poor. But maybe a lazier Robin Hood. You just did your act, this balance act, this confidence act between these two characters in this picture, only when needed. Not much action, only as much as necessary in both of these lives. Not a lot of action. Because in this one, basically the balloon is carrying you, so the balloon is doing all the movement. In this one, as a rebel, you are standing there. You took this rebellious act of not wanting to do anything earthly. I feel it. And with this Samaritan, let's see, refines your capacity to help those you would prefer to ignore. Okay. From the rebel, you preferred, of course, and the light of the rebel challenges authority to effect social change, rejects spiritual systems that do not serve inner needs. So you sabotaged in here some system. I feel like you revealed how the system does not serve the inner need of the individual. Cutting, so you cut, you pierced through the system and you showed all its lacks. Because from the outside, the system that you sabotaged looked pretty stable, that could carry you. And it was something about this hot air. The system was blowing hot air at you. But once you made that cut, basically all that hot air just disappeared. And in this second past life, you rebelled against the system. And in the shadow, let's see, exacting appreciation and recognition for the help. I think it's expecting or exacting. I don't know. Maybe that I don't know that word, exacting. Appreciation, let's say it's expecting. Appreciation and recognition for the help you offer. So maybe this is this is why you adopted this lazy position. Because maybe as a rebel in the start, you were Robin Hood. But just because you were not getting enough recognition to feed your ego, some ego that you carry from this lifetime, that you managed to sabotage the system. And let's see, April Spirit, the Alchemist. Let's see at the base of the deck, what is your last past life? The one that you came, the life of the prostitute. Okay. So saboteur, rebel. This card in here. Why is this card in here? Because we have these shades, different shades of green. But that little bit of orange. Orange and green for this past life. I'm thinking now of a flag that has these two colors. Again, I go to Africa. I can't, but like this flag with a bit of orange or something in here, and like 3 stripes, a black, a green, and a white one. So this is the one, and another one like with orange, white, and green. I feel like for this lifetime, you didn't go too far from this one as a location, as a geographical location. So these ones, they were close. And maybe this one too, although this brings a bluish hue too in here. But these two, like the same earth. Okay, and let's see for your last past life as a prostitute. In the light, accentuates the challenge of surviving without negotiating the power of your spirit. The challenge of surviving without negotiating the power of your spirit. This system that neglects the inner need, the power of your spirit, seems like a recurring theme in this one, because in this one you need some strength of spirit to sabotage the system. And this, again, to rebel against a system that doesn't take care of the inner needs, again, power and strength. And for this one, the challenge of surviving without negotiating the power of your spirit. As if the power of the spirit is present in all. But in these two first lives, in a way or another, you had to negotiate the power of your spirit. And now comes this lifetime as a prostitute where you learn, no more. But in the shadow, you place material considerations and security above self-empowerment. Self-empowerment. Okay. For the rebel in the shadow, you reject legitimate authority out of anger. Rebels out of peer pressure or fashion. This one, it was not a rebellious act just of peer pressure or fashion in this one. I don't feel it. But I do feel this rejects legitimate authority out of anger. And for the anger, so anger in psychology is explained as a natural feeling you experienced when your autonomy is restricted. So this system, not only that it didn't serve your inner needs, but it also restricted your autonomy. And you gathered a lot of anger. And this anger materialized in the life of a prostitute. So this prostitute lifetime cleared this anger and also taught you how to maintain the power of your spirit, how not to compromise or negotiate the power of your spirit. But you got some karma from this one too. You placed material considerations, so you were Goldilocks. Material considerations and security above self-empowerment. Let's see more details. The healer. The healer. Okay, the healer in here for you too. The divine child. The healer of the divine child. Who is the healer of the divine child? Let's see with the Akashic Tarot what more details we can get about this 3 past life of yours. For April-born spirits, what more details can we get about these 3 past lives that still have residual karma affecting their present life? Okay, let's see, April babies. More details about this life as a saboteur. Okay. The 4 of Roses, the views of the ego. In this life, your ego was splitted, very splitted. Okay, so splitted ego. I feel like for this one, you lacked honor. You did not learn honor. But you were supported by 2 characters. So this 4 of Roses plays a different story now. So you were supported by 2 characters in this mission of yours. And they made you see this mission in better light than it was actually in reality, than it actually was. This 4 of Roses with these 2 characters in here, one of them being your father, I feel. The father you have in your present life. Because these 2 characters in here, you were too young to be a mastermind in here. So these 2 characters supporting you, they were actually the masterminds. So you were misled in here about something. Because the image you saw in the mirror, the reflection that these 2 characters showed you was far from the truth. Okay. For this lifetime as a rebel. And the 4 of Forces. So 4 and 4. With the 7 of Forces. So this balance between the 4 of Roses and the 4 of Forces. The balance between force and think of a rose. A rose is gentle. Okay. For this lifetime, we have the balance, but the Queen of Roses with the 8 of Roses. So for this one, everything got doubled. Exactly like now it's half of your father's karma, and in this one, it's doubled. The community, the Shanga. Okay? So all the karma from this lifetime, it doubled. From a 4 of Roses, from the 4 of Cups, it went to the 8 of Cups. And it's something about your perspective too. Because in this lifetime, you viewed the system as a divine blessing until you pierced it through. And then you saw that everything was rotten in the middle, inside. Inside, everything was rotten. But you had this perspective that the system was a divine blessing. For this one, not. For this one, you've separated yourself. So you've went into the woods. You've separated yourself from this community. You've balanced the power of your emotions with the Queen of Water in here. So you did not allow, in this one, your ego affected your emotions. Like the ego was above your emotions. And your emotions were also directed by your ego. In here, you managed to balance and to walk away from the system. I feel something like in the mission of these 2 characters in here was to sabotage the system. but they used you. And this is how you acquired your karma. It was their mission. So your mission was just to walk away and to take care of yourself. But they managed to use you. So this one, I feel like the rebel should have been in here. And this should have been this life, which would have brought a different, or maybe the same, but like, let's say different resolution for your third last past life. I feel like this involvement of these two characters another scenario I'm getting here in which everything that I've said about you applies actually to your father and you being one of these two characters in here sabotaging this young man your father and now you is like this old your karma with your father. Maybe in this one you managed to balance something with the feminine character in here because there's this young boy looking at himself in the mirror and this two characters, a lady and a man, like in those cartoons where on one shoulder sits the little devil and a little angel on the other one. In this one, you balanced the feminine, the karma. You managed to balance, okay? Because this lady in here, she's a rebel. We're getting some genders in here. So men in here. Either you were the young man or the old man in here. You were the man in this one. In this one, you came as a lady. But why do I feel like you were a man in this one? Because we have a female prostitute in there. I'm going now to the whole Versace murder story. Like something luxurious, like a luxury homosexual prostitute for this lifetime. But I don't know why. So particular. Maybe some energy very, but not necessarily like just sexual prostitute. But prostitute for money, for interest, for benefits, for comfort, for getting things your way. Some prostitution in there. These two feel like men and women. But this one, for this one, I couldn't say for sure. At least for now. In this one, you managed to balance this feminine by walking away from the community. So this feminine walked away from the community and it managed to balance something somewhat. Because I'm thinking if in this one you came as a feminine, how much did you balance? Let's see. And the Four of Forces again there. Spring and autumn. Okay, the 4 months of the year. Let's say two are feminine, two are masculine. Spring and autumn are definitely feminine. In spring, it's all about fertility. In a fall, it's all about harvesting, so birthing. So germinating, impregnating in spring, birthing in autumn. And summer, where the sun, the masculine, burns everything, and winter seem very masculine ones. So we have for the prostitute, the muse, the devil card, with Archangel Gabriel. Number 3, the Empress. So the Empress in here was the muse. The devil was holding the strings on this Empress. And for the devil in here, it's a lady portrayed, and she plays some blowing instrument. Goes well with this card. And just her flute or whatever she's blowing into takes me to the God Pan. Why am I associating both the devil and Archangel Gabriel in this Empress card? I associate them both with the devil. So the devil had such a strong hold on the Empress in here that she sold her soul to the devil. Oh, this was bad. And let's see what happened. The Three of Roses, the Two of Forces. Okay, and Archangel Raphael came in with some healing. So this was the start of this life. Very tumultuous life, this one in the beginning. And I feel like we're talking to a puera eterna in this one. But you received this healing from the willow. The healing of the willow. Under the willow tree, this lady found the loving elementals. For this, I also feel for some of you, April spirits, that you've experienced a romantic triangle. But a very twisted one that brought healing to only two of the characters. So out of three, two got healing. And I don't think it was you. But let's go back to the story, because that one, I felt stronger. So in the second part with the Two of Forces, in the second part of your life, you receive the healing of the willow tree. I'm hearing also, so I don't know exactly, the willow and the sycamore tree. Something like listening to the song of the birds, this bird in there, under these two trees for this life. Maybe these two trees or these birds, the song of birds is still important for you in your present life. Let's go now to the karma cards and see your major karmic task. To pay half of your father's debt, to be responsible for your father's mistakes. What can we relate it to? A sign, a house, or a planet? Let's have one final shuffle and see for you, April born spirits. So Sagittarius comes to town. So the sign of Saggy might play an important part in this one. I'm thinking maybe a Sagittarius father. Okay, let's see. The moon. So your major karmic task is related to the moon. I'm not going to the healing power of the moon first, because first are the things you don't see clearly. So from this past life, the light of the moon, you can see something because the light of the moon lights up something. But it is not a clear, as I was saying in the beginning, to get a complete and full view. You did not have this complete and full view. You just had the illusion of a complete and full view because you had not yet reached the light of the sun. You did not yet meet the light of the sun. You only know the light of the moon. And now I'm going also to this healing. And let's see. Defend, accept, let your feelings tell you how to. Let your feelings not your ego, not your rational part, decide your destiny for this life. This connection, and I feel it very powerful for you being able to connect to the Father, the moon in here. So the feminine principle, this feminine principle, for this one, not so sure, but the feminine is related to the major karmic task is related to the feminine. And in this one, the lady in here, she's a feminine. When I was talking about Africa and Turkey and Egypt and Morocco, these two. Is this like a feminine, full feminine? Maiden, mother grown. But the mother rebelled against the fertility. I don't feel you as having children in this lives. Okay. The nurturing of feelings caused by and reactions. These two, the reaction to these two characters in there, and this reaction to the devil. So the Empress just allowed this devil to influence her so much. Mars. So it was Mars. Okay, a Mars devil. What I'm thinking now with this Mars color, with this Mars planet. So Mars is known as the red planet, and in imagery, the devil is portrayed a lot of times as red. And I'm also thinking of the bull with the Mars card. I don't know why. When the bull sees red, when the bull sees Mars, but the devil and Mars, the red planet and the red color of the devil. Maybe you were not able to see the color of this devil. This is how, okay? This is how, because you could not see that it was the red devil. Under the light of the moon, you did not see the color of the devil in this one. Let's find out how is it that you can complete this karmic program and achieve the dharma of your present lifetime. One last shuffle and let's see, okay, what the sunbeams have to show. But this is not popping, so we're putting it back. What the sunbeams have to show, right? But you're not only sunbeams. Okay, and this too. Could it be a dragonfly, as the weaver's way is true? With this lack of light, you only having the light of the moon, and that's Superman. It's a bird, it's a plane, it's a something flying in the sky. Could it be a dragonfly? As the weaver's way is true. As the this one, it's this moon in here. Okay, as the weaver's way is true. So this should have been the right way for the moon to guide, to walk in front of you. Because then, even with the light of the moon, you could have seen the green as being red. So the go as being a stop. So this, the green, all the green. And this is not a red because it's only orange. But this is how you actually went. Holding the moon, ordering the moon, So you didn't even have the light of the moon and the healing of the moon. So you not, it is not only that you didn't see the color of the devil, but could it be the devil? Could it be a dragonfly? You didn't even see exactly what it was. You didn't understand this devil hold on you. Okay, and this is it for the karmic part. Now let's shake it off and move to your dharmic energy and find out what exactly is it that you are seeking for in this lifetime. Let's see, April born spirits, what is your dharma? The crone. Maiden, mother, crone. So in this one, you were still trying to make up for this lack of mother attributes in here. And it didn't go well. So in this one, because we're not taking it, just showed a little bit the face, the crone. So this is what you should have had as a dharma, what you should have been seeking for in this lifetime, for the crone. But we're still at the mother level. And it's funny that you have, in numerology, you have this strong karma with the father. But somehow, the mother and the father in here. For this lifetime, I feel a mother and a father who decided your fate. No, your destiny, because your fate is decided by the three Moiras. A mother and a father who overwrote your fate and imposed their wish upon your destiny. So in this life, you're accustomed to this devilish strings on you because you had a mother and a father in here. So in this one, it just feels normal. And if the crone is not accessible now, so somehow with the feminine. But what is interesting, so the three cards, the pieces of Dharma, the Magus, which in tarot is usually portrayed the magician as number 1, but in here it's 2, with the number of the high priestess. The weaver, and in between the wisdom. So let's take this, and this is number 25, number 7, the number of God. So in this scenario, the God is a female. The weaver. Okay, so we have this separation, especially with the Gnostics, I think, between the true God, the divine principle, and the demiurge, the one that builds the material world. I feel something like, for you in here, wisdom, true wisdom, can be found in between the true divine principle and this demiurge in here. So this Magus as the divine principle and the weaver in here as the demiurge. But wisdom is right in between. Or, because with the father, the mother, and you in here. This magician card. Maybe through the power, through the karma with your father, you manage to get to weaver feminine, which is just one step away from the crone. So you connected the wisdom of the weaver to manage to go to the crone. So maybe you're just gonna skip the mother for now. Or maybe you have learned it from other cycles. And in this cycle, you just need the crone. But to get to the crone, you still have to go through the... So this was supposed to be the maiden, this was supposed to be the mother, and this was supposed to be the crone. But you skipped this one because maybe you had the mother archetype learned from other cycles of incarnations. And in this cycle, you just need the crone. Okay, and let's see with the sacred blessings. And I'm thinking like through the power, through the karma you have with your father, you're learning this crone. You're connecting through the karma you share with your father. You're connected to the weaver power, and so you reach your wisdom, the wisdom of the crone. So you activate the wisdom of the crone inside of you through the strength of the weaver, through this creative power which belongs to the magician. So the magician in here, this karmic depth with your father, sets in motion all this power and strength for creativity. And that's your wisdom. And look at these two characters. So she's getting out of this darkness, of the dark cosmic waters, and she emerges from these blue waters, from this blue, nourishing waters, clouds, because it can be clouds too, with this owl flying. So not only that you're getting out from the deep with the dharma that you're seeking in this one, but you're going up in the air, okay? So it's not the waters in here because it's the clouds. Let's see for you, April-born spirits, what blessings are guiding your way towards the wisdom of the crone through the strength of the weaver. Let's see what sacred blessings you have guiding you on your path. On your path, what blessings do you have? April-born spirits. So I think, let's try and switch. I think your blessings might just come from the land of the mother, from the land of the feminine. So now it's the feminine, now it's the masculine. So numerology definitely says you have karma with the father. Okay, let's check this one. The cave. Something with the masculine and a cave. Okay, we're taking this one. The tree of life and the chakras. I want another one. I'm gonna shuffle a little bit more, because maybe this tree of life. So this is what you're weaving. The tree of life represents the totality of the world, with the upper world, the underworld, and the middle world. So in the upper world, we have spirit, the most ancestral, the oldest part of us. In the underworld, we have matter, the materia, out of which everything is made of. And this is representative for the feminine and the spirit for the father. And in the middle world, father and mother, in the middle world, the son, the daughter, something with the son and the daughter in here, with these two parents and this tree of life. The chakras. Number 35 and 36. But to activate the tree of life, because let's say the head is the upper world, the sexual organs are the middle world, and the heart, let's say it's are the underworld. The heart is the middle world. But with this chakra card, 35 and 36, 8 and 9, to activate this tree of life inside of you, to have the connection. So in mythology, they say that back in the days, everyone could travel between these three worlds until all sorts of things happen, and only a few gods managed to keep this ability of traveling throughout worlds and realms. And maybe you have this ability, because this is a blessing in the chakras. Okay, But this is a blessing from the feminine land, from the feminine, from the underworld. And let's see from the upper world, because maybe that one had to come first. I feel these ones. Purpose and Gaia. So the Empress. Gaia. It's the purpose in here. We're not taking those ones. We're looking at them. So the labyrinth as a representation of your upper world. The shaman, the cave, and the ley lines. So on these ley lines, something about the ley lines. This cave, representative of the place you grew up. And this place where you grew up as a blessing is placed on a ley line. A ley line through which your shaman can connect through the labyrinth of your upper world. The labyrinth and the chakras in here. And the purpose, the child again, the child in here. So this is the masculine and this is the feminine. So as a child, you might have been more connected to the feminine and to your mother. Don't forget about the karma that you have, because you might have felt like abandoned in a cave by your father. But this cave that your father supposedly abandoned you into, because you see this cave of the feminine, this is darker than this one. It feels more comforting with this patch in here, because this one, it's a rocky patch. But I feel like for you, this is the true light. This shall be the light of the moon, but you need to go towards the sun. What the sunbeams have to show you, right? Let's have one final blessing. Oh my God, so many blessings for you. The womb. Okay, I'm not even gonna say anything on this card. So the womb with the mother. So maybe the true blessing for you, if if instead of skipping the mother with the Gaia, with the Empress, with the womb, the purpose of the womb, the purpose for you is the womb of Gaia. And this womb can very well be a Garden of Eden too. Okay, this is your final blessing, and this is what I have for your reading, your karmic depth reading based on the month of birth being April. I hope you enjoyed your reading, and I shall see you in one of the next ones. Bye.